Okay, so there are people on board the bus, so I'm not able to speak too loudly, so bear with me. So just now I had a chat with my intels, and they told me that the electric bendy buses would come next year. Not this year, but next year. So it will be a demonstrator unit. But the good news is that the MAN NLC 18E electric bus, the order is more or less confirmed. The one with the 4 doors. And 858, it's not going to be so soon. They will still operate like diesel bendy buses on it. Because the PTB 312 sector is considered a tunnel sector, like because it's basement, so they will still operate diesel bendy buses on 858. So, but what I have heard about it is that when it debuts like next year, I don't know which quarter of like next year, but it should be around next year. They will start placing the order this year, and then by next year it's supposed to like debut basically. And one of the services that I heard that they have interest in like debuting the bus on is actually 969. I'm not sure about feeder services, but I just heard about 969. But definitely SMRT would get some of them, because they are the ones who inherited the bendy buses from Trans Island Bus Services tips. So definitely they will be getting it. But I just don't know if they would test it on 969 first, or will they actually test it on the feeders first. I only heard that like 969 is one of the ones that they're like willing to test it on. And since it's an electric bendy bus, which will be the first ever in Singapore, the main point I want to make is that you gotta take things slow. They are just ordering a demonstrator unit. They are not ordering production batch yet. Simply because the bus is electric. And just so that everybody knows, even before RW was transferred to another department, SMRT still continued the Bendy Bus training. They have never halted it. So to anyone who's still thinking that SMRT had at some point in time stopped it, they didn't. Just to make things clear. Because I have seen a lot of fake news like flying left, right, center.
It's not me. It's to do with the gender. It's just the way it's born.
Because ultimately, even though progress might not be as quick as you would like it to be, at the very least there is still progress. It's already a miracle that that guy is no longer in bus assets anymore. So really, you just have to take things slow and make sure you know like what you're doing when it comes to like the bus deployments and stuff like that. And the other reason why they could afford to take it slow is because the diesel bendy buses, they would only retire the earliest is 2032, so they still have time to, you know, plan things out. If they were to order like new bendy buses, like the production batch, I don't know how many of them it'll be, but it should definitely be enough to ensure that like the SMRT feeders services have adequate bendy buses, and so do services like 184, 962. I'm not sure about 859, but it's like, you know, that category of services. And likewise for 858 when the time comes for the airport to be upgraded with like electric bendy buses. Although I am not sure if like the newer towns, those with the ITHs that can park bendy buses, I don't know if they will be getting them, or like let's say if 240, 243 would be getting them, because as you know, some of the ITHs that are designed outside of RW's rule, including the ones that the blueprints would be finalized like after the date he gets expelled out of bus assets, those you could actually put bendy bus slots there. Like inside the interchanges. So as long as you have bendy bus slots, you know, we could at least talk about it. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have to debut there, but like even if it won't be used, like under revenue service, they still could park like they still could use it to like hold some of the bus bridging services, put bendy buses, as in use bendy buses for the MRT bus bridging services when the MRT is down. So that could be one use of it. It's an obscure use, but it's still better than nothing. At least there is like some foresight, at least, you know. This is like how Marina Center, even though 960 isn't really running any bendy buses right now, there is still there is still potential to use these lots for whatever purposes, you know. So yeah. Now, as for the exact specifications of the bus, you could probably go to the MAN Truck and Buses official website and maybe use the Europe's bus specifications as a guideline to say how the capacity in general, how many passengers can the bus carry. You could use the European values in that sense to estimate. But if I were to estimate, it's probably around 115 to 125 passengers. I don't think it's any more than that because, well, it's an electric bendy bus. There's probably going to be two wheelchair bays, and not just that. It also depends on how big the batteries are. Although the one promising thing is that since this is a European bus model, it's tried and tested. I'm pretty sure that it'll succeed. It's just the cost thing, the cost aspect of it that prevents it from success. Because the backup is to use BYD B18s or Yutong U18s. If the MAN NLC 18E doesn't, for some reason, they find it too expensive or something along those lines. But I am pretty confident that the 18E would do well because they have already indicated interest to MAN about said bendy bus. So all those SMRT livery renditions that I've done on the 18E, they are actually gonna come true, except that it's not SMRT, it's gonna be lush green, of course. So yeah. But I think that bus with its black top and stuff like that, the window line, it'll look at least decent and lush green. It won't look perfect, of course, but it's come on, it's a bendy bus. We already got what Singapore needed, so I wouldn't even complain about it. I'm just happy for the people living in this country that they don't have to suffer anymore under that idiot's rule. In fact, I've already said this before, but I was shocked that as soon as that guy got ousted from bus assets, an order was actually immediately placed for the bendy buses, and it turns out to actually be the MAN bendy buses. Because most of my intel, they were saying things about BYD B18, but it turns out the one that is set to debut first. Allegedly, I don't have any I have no concrete evidence to support this, but it looks like the MAN NLC bendy bus is gonna debut first. And again, I'm not for first time viewers, I am not kidding. I've spoke to a lot of LTA intel. Nobody refuted me. In fact, all of them confirmed that Singapore will indeed get electric bendy buses. It's just a case of which model, what are the specifications, what routes they'll be tested on, and stuff like that. That's all. Okay, I got a light. So yeah, bye.